بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. بإذن الله عز وجل, we're going to try to cover a number of hadith in the book of Tahara, the book of purification, from Imam At-Tirmathi rahimahullah, using the hadith collection app. We'll try to go over as many as we can. There are 148 hadith in this chapter. The first hadith Imam At-Tirmathi mentioned is the hadith of Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhu. The Prophet ﷺ, he said that salat is not accepted without tahur, nor is sadaqah accepted, or charity, from ghulul, or from stealing from the spoils of war. In other words, charity is not accepted from something that is haram. And one of the wordings of this hadith, illa bi tuhur, salah is not accepted except with tuhur. And Abu Isa At-Tirmathi rahimahullah, he said this is asahhu shay'in fi hadha al-bab. This is the most authentic hadith and the best hadith as far as this issue is concerned. Second hadith is the hadith of Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu. The Prophet he said, إذا توضأ العبد المسلم أو المؤمن فغسل وجهه خرجت من وجهه كل خطيئة نظر إليها بعينيه مع الماء أو مع آخر قطر الماء أو نحو هذا، وإذا غسل يديه خرجت من يديه كل خطيئة بطشتها يداه مع الماء أو مع آخر قطر الماء حتى يخرج نقيا من الذنوب. So we're going back to the beginning of the hadith, starting from the word إذا in the first line here. When the servant of Allah, Muslim or Mu'min, washes his face, all of the sins that he looked upon with his eyes come out with the water, or with the last drop of water from his face, or similar to this, as the narrator says, أو نحو هذا, meaning similar to the statement, as if he's narrating this hadith. And this is just because the narrator just wants to be precise. And he goes on, he says, وَإِذَا غَسَلَ يَدَيْهِ, when he washes his hands, all the sins he committed with his hands come out with the water, or with the last drip of water, until he finishes wudu, being pure from sin, or from all sins. And Abu Isa At-Tirmathi rahimahullah, he said this hadith is Hasan Sahih. And he says, وَهُوَ حَدِيثُ مَالِكْ عَنْ سُهَيْلٍ عَنْ أَبِيهِ عَنْ أَبِي هُرَيْرَةَ. Then he goes and explains who Abi Salih is. This is the narrator from Abi Hurairah. His name is, he's known as As-Samman, Abu Salih As-Samman. And his name is Dhakwan. He says, Abu Hurairah اختلف في اسمي. Abu Hurairah, the scholars have differed regarding his name. Some say his name is Abdul Shams, and others say his name is Abdullah ibn Amr. And Muhammad ibn Ismail rahimahullah, he said this is the strongest opinion, that Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, his name is Abdullah ibn Amr. And then he brings a number of other hadith similar to this meaning. He says, on the authority of Uthman ibn Affan wa Thawban wa Sunabihi wa Amr ibn Abbas wa Sulaiman Abdullah ibn Amr was-Sunabihi. So all these Sahaba, they narrated hadith similar to this one. So he mentioned about 5 or 6 Sahabi who narrated a similar hadith to this, meaning that a person who makes wudu, then his sins will be removed with the washing of each limb. And then he brings, he says that as-Sunabihi, the one who narrated from Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, is not the same as as-Sanabihi with the fatha. Sunabihi, he's not a Sahabi with as-Sanabihi with the fatha, Sad. He is as-Sunabihi. They have the same name actually. They both have Dhamma, Sad, was-Sunabihi, was-Sunabihi. So when there's a man named Sunabihi who narrated from Abu Hurairah, from Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. He never heard from the Prophet ﷺ, and his name is Abdul Rahman ibn Usaydah. ويكنى أبا عبد الله رحل إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. He traveled to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, but the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم had passed away while he was on his way. Subhanallah. And وقد روى عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أحاديث. والصنابح ابن الأعسر الأحمصي. This Sanabih, he is actually a Sahabi, and he narrated the hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, in which he said, "Inni mukathirun bikum umam." I wish to have more numerous nation or ummah. So do not on the last day. So do not fight each other or kill each other after me. None of this was mentioned in the translation, so therefore I mentioned it. Hadith number 3. حدثنا قتيبة وحناد ومحمود. All of these, he brings his chain, and he brings his chain to Muhammad ibn Hanafiya. This is the son of Ali ibn Abi Talib, but not from the children of Fatima. He is the younger son after Hassan Hussein. When Fatima radiallahu anha passed away, he married a woman. And she is she's known as Al-Hanafiya. So they call him Muhammad ibn Hanafiya to make sure that people, to know that he is not from the offspring of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Ali and his father, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Miftah salat al-tuhur wa tahrimuha al-takbir wa tahliluha al-taslim." The key of the salat is tuhur, and which is wudu or ghusl, and the tahrim of it, what makes actions haram, is takbir. Once you say takbir, it's called takbir al-ihram because it makes things haram. Wa tahliluha, what makes things halal again, is taslim. In other words, activity outside the salat becomes haram once they make the takbir, and becomes halal once you make taslim. And Abu Isa At-Tirmathi rahimahullah, he said this is the most authentic hadith in this issue. He says, and Abdullah ibn Muhammad ibn Uqayl, who was Saduq, the narrator in this chain, Abdullah ibn Muhammad ibn Aqil, he is Saduq. In other words, his memory is of a B grade, not A grade. وقد تكلم فيه بعض أهل العلم. Some scholars spoke about him as far as his memory. قال Abu Isa, he said, I heard Muhammad ibn Ismail min Bukhari, his sheikh, he said, Imam Ahmad rahimahullah and Ishaq ibn Ibrahim and Humaydi, they used to they would accept the hadith of Abdullah ibn Muhammad ibn Aqil. And Bukhari, he says, وهو مقارب الحديث, and he is of a medium level grade when it comes to his mastery of hadith, like a B level, muqarib. قال أبو عيسى وفي الباب عن جابر وأبي سعيد. So Abu Isa, he said, and there are other Sahaba who narrated similar hadith to this from Jabir, such as Jabir ibn Abdullah and Sa'id Abi Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu anhuma. The third hadith, number 4, he mentioned with his chain, Abu Isa At-Tirmathi rahimahullah mentioned with his chain to Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu anhuma. Jabir ibn Abdullah, his father, is one of the shuhada of Uhud, whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to and continued to ask them what they wanted until they asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The martyrs gathered in paradise and said, we know that Allah will not stop asking us, or will not discontinue asking us what we need or what we would like until until we answer him. So let's ask him to go back to the dunya to die again. So they asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrote, he informed him that he had written that no one who will go back to it, no one who leaves it will go back to it. So they asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to inform the believers on their behalf. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayat in Ali Imran, and do not think, وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتًا بَلْ أَحْيَاءٌ. Do not think those who are killed in the way of Allah are dead, rather they are alive. This is Abdullah, the father of Jabir, the narrator of this hadith, radiallahu anhu. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, مفتاح الجنة الصلاة ومفتاح صلاة الوضوء. He said, the key to Jannah is Salat, and the key to Salat is wudu. Hadith number 6 or number 5. Okay, so he mentioned his chain from his Shaykh Qutayba and Hannad. They both said Waqi' informed him that Shu'bah informed him on the authority of that Shu'bah informed him on the authority of Abdul Aziz ibn Suhaib and Anas ibn Malik. قال كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu, he said, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم used to إذا دخل الخلاء, when he entered the area for using the bathroom, he used to say, اللهم إني أعوذ بك. And Shu'bah, he said, أعوذ بك من الخبث والخبيث والخبيث. I seek refuge with you from the khubth and khabith, from impurity and from the filthy one. Or al-khubuthi wal-khaba'ith, plural. So it's the same thing but plural. So khubuthi is the plural of khubthi, and khaba'ith is the plural of khabith. So seek refuge from the act, from the thing itself, and from the filthy, the one who is filthy. So this is from impurity and from shaitan. And then he brings his chain. Abu Isa, he says, and some of the other Sahaba who narrated hadith similar to this one is Ali and Zayd ibn Arqam and Jabir ibn Abdullah and ibn Mas'ud. All these Sahaba, like 5 Sahaba, or 4 other Sahaba narrated hadith similar to this. He says, but the hadith of Anas, this hadith with this chain, is the most authentic and the best. And the hadith there's another hadith from Zayd ibn Arqam radiyallahu anhu. However, its chain is ittirab, inconsistency, which is one of the means for one of the types of one of the causes of weakness. So if he were to narrate that would be the only chain about this hadith, or the only chain to establish this dua, then it would not be a authentic dua. But because of the hadith of Anas and the other Sahaba, then we see that it's okay. And ittirab basically means inconsistency. In other words, there's no way that you can marry or reconcile different narrators narrated conflicting narrations in which there's no way that you could reconcile. So that's the meaning of ittirab. He says, وراى هشام الدستوائي وسعيد بن أبي عروبة عن قتادة فقال سعيد عن قاسم ibn Auf al-Shaybani عن زيد ibn Arqam. So one of them said from Qasim ibn Auf al-Shaybani from Zayd ibn Arqam, the Sahabi, whereas another person said from Qatada from Zayd. So instead of being from Qasim from Zayd from the Sahabi, another narrator, he said from Qatada from the same Sahabi. So you see they're conflicting. They're bringing two different narrators. One says Qasim and one says Qatada. And Shu'bah and Ma'mar, they say from Qatada from a different Sahabi, not Zayd, from Nadhr ibn Anas. So you see that now we have two inconsistencies. One is saying from Qasim from Zayd, and the other one is saying from Qatada from Zayd, and the third one is saying from Qatada from a different Sahabi altogether, not Zayd, another Ibn Anas. And then Shu'bah says from Zayd ibn Arqam without mentioning any Qasim or Qatada. You see, so you have different narrators saying different things. It's as if I'm saying, I heard this hadith from Qasim, who heard it from the Sahabi Zayd, and another student of ilm or another alim or narrator says, no, I heard it from Qatada from Zayd. Another person saying, no, I heard it from Qatada from Nadhr. So you see, that's an example of ittirab. But Abu Isa At-Tirmathi, he said, I asked Muhammad ibn Ismail Bukhari, I asked Bukhari, who's the Shaykh of Tirmidhi, he said, about this hadith. And he said, it's possible that Qatada rahimahullah narrated from both the Zayd, the Sahabi Zayd, and narrate the same hadith from another. So as far as Abu Isa At-Tirmidhi is concerned, as far as Imam Bukhari is concerned, it's okay because it could be that the same narrator narrated from two different Sahaba. But just showing you, he's giving you a taste of hadith, the science of hadith in practice. But the hadith we have here is there's no inconsistency in the chain from Anas ibn Malik. That's all. The other, so this hadith is no doubt authentic, as Abu Isa At-Tirmidhi said. And the dua is Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubthi wal-khaba'ith, or khubuthi wal-khaba'ith, or al-khubthi wal-khabith, as we have in this hadith. We'll stop here, inshallah. If you think this is beneficial, then let me know. Inshallah, we will continue.